My mama was known for her green thumb throughout the entire countryside. In spite of her 75 years and her rotund figure, her garden was a miniature paradise and a delight to the senses. So when she came to Florida, the first thing she wanted to do was tour Cypress Botanical Gardens. So we arrived at 9 o'clock in the morning. I helped Mama out of the car and held her elbow as we walked. We were greeted by lovely southern belles dressed in hoop skirts that extended past their fingertips. Well, I was immediately transported back to the antebellum homes of Gone with the Wind and into the arms of Red Butler. Then I noticed the hills in front of me and Red disappeared. I looked at Mama waddling at my side and I rented a wheelchair. As she eased herself into the seat, I knew my task would not be an easy one. I rode her over to the entrance of the garden where the fragrance and the beauty was overwhelming. The colors became a living kaleidoscope, changing with every angle. As we approached the purple bougainvillea curtain, it shimmered in delight. Cascades of red, blue, and yellow mums intertwined with waterfalls sounding like an orchestra on steroids. And when we reached the white gazebo, we lingered to take in the majesty that surrounded us. And then we watched as 12 bikini-clad water skiers performed an acrobatic show that included a human pyramid act. When that show was over, it was past noon, and so we headed back to the car. The heat was sweltering that day with no cloud cover. When I saw the incline of the upcoming hill, I panicked. With Mama's weight, I did not know if I could get her up the hill. I planted my feet. I got a firm grip on the handles of the wheelchair, and I pushed Mama up the hill, one step at a time. My heart thumped with the beat of a frenzied war drum, and sweat gushed from my head. We finally reached the top of the hill, only to realize the incline going down was just as steep. The wheels kept turning on their own, and my hands were too sweaty to stop the motion. I braced my legs and locked my knees. I wiped one hand at a time, hoping to remove the sweat so I could withstand the forward thrust that was already starting to happen. The living kaleidoscope was speeding past us like leaves in a hurricane. The wheelchair had gone directly into fifth gear, skipping the second, third, and fourth. Mama was taking flight. Mama! I can't hold on! It was obvious to Mama. She was already feeling an unexpected breeze. Well, when her thrill was over, she was entangled in a bed of blue plumbagos. And when I reached her, she was covered in blossoms. It made the garden experience very up close and personal for her. Well, fortunately, Mama was okay, and it was the last hill before exiting the park. Needless to say, it was a day she would never forget. But being the lady she was, she never said she should have stayed home.